Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good in the hood. Guys, I've been so excited. So excited by yesterday's news. It's unbelievable. Like, so excited. I can't believe it. I can't believe that Manny Pacquiao is going to be fighting Errol Spence. It's come out of the blue. I know some of you have said, no, it's not come out of the blue. It's Manny Pacquiao always said he wanted to fight Errol Spence. It's come out of the blue for me because I was definitely not expecting. I was definitely not expecting Manny Pacquiao to fight Errol Spence. Definitely not. And I think Errol Spence. I think Manny Pacquiao again shows why he is an all-time great. You know, he continues to raise the bar. He continues to prove that he's a legend of the sport, and he's setting an example for these young kids coming through. Unbelievable stuff by Pacquiao. Unbelievable stuff. So respect to Pacquiao for taking this fight. I think it's incredible stuff. I think it's incredible stuff by the Filipino legend. And let's see if he can shock everybody once again and beat him. I think it's going to be a tough fight. Of course, I think it's not going to be easy. But I still think Manny Pacquiao can pull off. I think he can pull off the upset. I do believe he can. I believe he can shock everybody and beat Errol Spence. I think it's going to be tough. Of course it is. It's going to be very, very tough. But I definitely think he can. I definitely think he can win this fight. It's not going to be easy, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Just wait for some of you guys to come on, so we can get a larger stream here. Guys, if any of you want to come on, I'm going to leave the link in the chat section, and feel free to come on. I'm going to leave the link to this chat so you can come on if you want to. It's entirely up to you. At the minute, I think there's a few people. Richard Brown, hi Imran. Yes, Pacquiao can win. I am saying on points. This 2-year break may have done him good. Hopefully, he comes in fresh. I know he's 42, but Spence not fought anyone like Pacquiao. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's fought anyone on Pacquiao's level. Pacquiao right now is Pacquiao to me. He the fact that he's taken that fight says a lot about him. Says a lot about him as a fighter and how's he been. A lot of people thought that Manny Pacquiao wouldn't take this fight, and the fact that Spence may be a step too far, he wouldn't jump in with someone like Errol Spence. But really, Manny Pacquiao's proved everyone wrong, and he's going in there in the lion's den fighting Errol Spence. So you got to respect that. We got to respect that, and I think, like I said, he's setting the way. He's setting the example for these young fighters, and how basically us boxing fans love someone like Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao steps into the lion's den more often than not. And he's done it for a majority of his career. And I personally want to see these young fighters do what Manny Pacquiao does, because that make our sport a lot better. We don't get to see the big fights consistently. By Manny Pacquiao doing what he's doing, hopefully he's setting an example for these young kids. Even at the age of 42, he's going in there against the best. And that's what we want to see all these young guys do. Pacquiao's speed and movement will give Spence problems, but can a 42-year-old keep it off a Torah? That's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard. Ryan, it's going to be hard. It's definitely going to be hard. I don't know whether he can. That's why I'll be picking Spence, just because I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he'd be able to keep someone like Spence. I'm not sure whether he'll be able to keep someone like Spence off of him. That's the problem. Spence is a very big, strong welterweight. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard. The shooting god. Manny will need to work harder than what he did when he fought Thurman, and especially the time that he has been inactive. It's a hard fight, but the word upset is always possible. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. It would be an upset, and I'm glad you brought that up. The shooting guard, it would be considered an upset because of the fact that Manny Pacquiao is 42, and like I said, it may be one of the greatest wins by a welterweight fighter. You know, you could probably argue it's one of the greatest wins by a welterweight fighter. You know, can you think of a better win at the age of 42? You know, it'd be incredible if he pulls this off. Incredible by Manny Pacquiao if he pulls it off. Spence stops Manny late. Possibly Tiger strike. I wouldn't be surprised if he does stop him late. I think there's a great chance of Manny Pacquiao being stopped in this fight. I think just because of the tenacity, the strength, the size, the relentless pressure of Errol Spence might be too much over 12 rounds. I don't think Spence is knocking him out with one punch, but I think over the course of the 12 rounds, he could wear Pacquiao down, no doubt. Richard Brown, win or lose or draw, Pacquiao fights anyone, and people respect the man's a legend. Yeah, he is. He's a legendary name in the sport of boxing, and one that I feel needs to be respected and will be respected once he is retired. I think he'll be remembered as one of the all-time greats. And like I said, if he pulls this off, if he pulls this fight off and beats Errol Spence, I don't know where he'd be ranked in world boxing. Once like where would you rank him? You could rank him really high if he pulls this off. Some may even rank him the greatest ever if he pulls off this win. And to be honest, you won't be able to argue with them because it would be an unbelievable win. Unbelievable win at the age of 42 to beat a pound for pound top 5 fighter in Spence would be incredible. Would be incredible. And he's capable. He is capable. Manny refused random Olympic style blood test v Thurman. Same thing this fight. I don't know. I don't really want to go into that stuff, to be honest. It is what it is. Hopefully they both have testing done and we can get a good fight. I wonder if this is his last fight, and if he wins, will he fight Crawford? I don't think so. I think like I've said this before, that I think a fight against Crawford or Spence should probably be his last. He's got nothing to prove if he beats Spence or even loses. What's he got to prove? He would be beating the best, and then I think it'd be time for him to go off into the sunset. I don't think there would be anything left for Manny to prove. I think he's done it all. I think he's had a great career, and I think it'd be time for Manny Pacquiao to probably hang up the gloves. I don't think there'd be anything left for him to prove, really. What would be there left for him to prove? Nothing. So yeah, I think this is probably going to be his last fight, Richard. I don't think there's going to be another fight. Imagine if he beat both. Wow. Imagine a 42-year-old beating two guys, pound for pound guys in their prime. Be incredible. It'd be incredible. And to be honest, no one would say that it's impossible. It's definitely not impossible for him to beat. But I definitely don't think he should fight both guys at this stage. I think Spence should be his last fight, and then that should be it. I think personally, I think that would be enough to prove his greatness. To be honest with you, I don't think he needs to keep proving people. I think that should be it. Personally, if I'm honest with you, I think that should be it. But yeah, let's see. You never know with Manny. You never know. Boxing on Channel 5 tonight. Yes. Yes, there is boxing on Channel 5 tonight, but the main boxing is in America. If Pac wins, will he be the greatest of all time? Yeah, he'll be definitely one of the greatest. I was saying that if he wins, is he the greatest of all time? Definitely one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest now, but that would put him on a whole different level. That would put him on a whole different level, Mighty Crusader. That would be something special. That would be something special if he pulls that off. If he pulls that off, that would be something special for sure. Taylor on points in a very hard fight. Yeah, it's a very, very hard fight. Very, very hard fight. It's going to be tough for Taylor. And he looks a bit heated. He looks a bit upset right now as well. He looks a bit, I've never really seen Taylor like that before. He doesn't look right. He looks a bit too heated. And I think if he goes toe to toe with someone like Ramirez, that might favor Ramirez, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this fight. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to hopefully be a good fight. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. Who is there? Taylor on points in a very, very hard fight. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be a tough, tough night for both. Tough, tough night for both. Guys, 1 second. I think my camera seems a little bit blurry for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Is it the light? Let me just on the light. Maybe it's that. Let me just go sort this out. 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Let me just see if this works. That better? Yeah, I think that's probably better, right? Yeah, that's probably better. Right, okay, so let's get back talking boxing. All right, okay, so what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this Pacquiao Spence? Do you think would you have preferred him to fight Crawford or Spence? Who would you have rather have seen Manny fight? After having just finished the 12th round of Thurman Spence, I don't see Pacquiao winning. Spence by UD, I think. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think you can't ever write Pac off. That's the thing. You can never write off Manny Pacquiao. You can just never write him off. Brendan's right. You have to favor Spence. Do you think Spence will stop Pacquiao? Do you think Spence could stop Manny Pacquiao? Do you think Spence could stop Manny Pacquiao? Or do you think after having just finished, you can't write him off, true? Do you think Spence will stop him? Or do you think Manny will go the distance? I think Manny should go the distance, to be honest with you. I think he should go the distance. If I'm totally honest, I think he should go the distance, but you never know. With that relentless pressure, Spence could wear him down. He could wear Manny down. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all if he wears him down and stops him late. But so Mike Ream says, hell no, he cannot win. It says here, so first, let's read Richard Brown. Richard Brown says, I think Crawford would be a harder style to fight than Spence. Yeah, he probably would. Mike Ream says, hell no, he cannot win. It's a struggle to me. Everybody act like Errol Spence is sore, and you people, damn well know he's a different kind of monster. He will destroy Manny Pacquiao. Wow. Mike gets it out there. He gets it off his chest. Probably. Let's see. I don't think it's going to be that easy, though. I don't think it's going to be as easy destroying Pacquiao. I'm not sure. Guys, everyone in the live stream, can you smash the like button? I'd appreciate if you smash the like button. Everybody in the live stream, if you can smash that like button, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so Mighty Crusader says, do you think Pacquiao can outbox Spence? I think he can outwork him. But can he outbox him? For 12 rounds, it's going to be tough. Yeah. Teen Enhan says Spence flat-footed. Yeah, he's faster than you think. But yeah, compared to Pacquiao's a lot faster. Pac-Man's a monster too, even at 42. Yeah, he is. He is a monster at 42. No doubt about it. You cannot overlook Pacquiao. You just cannot. Pacquiao's a beast. Still, and we saw that against Thurman. Really. He shocked me, to be honest, in that fight. The way he performed, that was unbelievable, really. When you think about it, at his age, to be performing like that was incredible. No KP says Spence will control. Spence will control the distance. Watch, possibly. Spence is very good. I think if Spence can keep it long, then I think he'll probably outbox Manny. But if Manny gets to him, then it could be a problem for Spence. If Manny can get close to him, get in and out very fast, let his fast combinations go, then it could be difficult for Spence. But it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good watch. Age is a factor, and Spence is at his prime. Late stoppage from beating on him for a few rounds, or even a KO from Pac-Man. A KO from Pac-Man being so tired by trying to knock Spence out early. Spence is a slow starter, yeah. Yeah, I don't think Spence is going to stop Manny Pacquiao with one punch. I think it's more going to be a fatigue issue for Pacquiao towards the end, that relentless pressure of Spence stopping him down the stretch. Pacquiao with his speed and quick footwork will trouble Spence, I think. Yeah, I believe. Don't overlook Pacquiao in this fight. That's all I'm saying. Manny Pacquiao cannot outbox Spence, says JMA84. He says, in his prime, it might have been too much. It might have been too much. If Spence trades like Cotto, who was superb boxer, then he will get mashed up. But Spence will box and KO the 7-time Hall of Fame legend. Do you really think so? I don't know. I think he could stop Pacquiao towards the back end of fatigue, but I don't think Spencer's got that kind of power where he's knocking Manny out. I think it'll be more fatigue rather than him hurting Pac. I think Spence will keep it long. The reach of Pac is going to be telling with pressure, and then a stoppage. I have to wait and see. It should be a good fight, man. It should be a good fight. I'm really excited, guys. Really, really excited. Spence is a legend, regardless, for taking this fight. One of the top 10 all-time hits. You mean Pacquiao or Spence? Spence is in a top 10 all-time great. You mean Pacquiao? Sid UK. I'm sure that you meant Pacquiao, because Spence is in a top 10 all-time great. Manny's punch resistance has gone after many hard bouts and being an old man. Gone. When did Manny Pacquiao show his punch resistance is gone? Manny Pacquiao against Keith Thurman actually showed that his punch resistance is still there. Manny Pacquiao showed his punch resistance is still stellar. In that Thurman fight, took many shots and he didn't even budge. Thurman can punch as well. Manny Pacquiao is taking. Yeah, I thought you meant that. Hatch, boxer, how are you, brother? He says, I love how everyone isn't giving Pacquiao a chance. Watch how Pacquiao puts on the most epic performance of his life. He will beat Spence. A lot of people think Pacquiao can pull this off. There's many people. A lot of people are giving. Some people don't give Pacquiao a chance. Some people give Pacquiao a chance. My head says I'll be honest with you. My head says Spence. I just think Spence is too young, too fresh, and I just think he might be too much. JM884 says, sorry for saying you were talking about one of your words, Imran. I can't remember. When did you say that? I can't. I've been getting so many comments lately. I haven't seen all of them. I go through them daily to see the comments, but I didn't see that. Probably, maybe you didn't agree with something I was saying. I don't know. Sometimes, I do the videos late at night, so maybe I've said something in there that you don't agree with. Mighty Crusader, Pac speed would cause Spence a lot of trouble in the first 7 rounds. Yeah, Yeah. Do you think he could hurt Spence? Do you think Pacquiao could hurt Errol Spence? Do you think there's a chance that Pacquiao could hit and hurt Errol Spence? Like he put Thurman down. Do you think he could? Because Spence has shown a fairly good chin throughout his career. Do you think he could hurt Spence? What do you guys think? Do you think he can hurt him or no? Or do you think this is if anyone's gonna get hurt, it's gonna be Manny. It's gonna be what's his name? Pacquiao. Yeah, Marquez. That was a long time ago though. The Marquez, and that was one big punch. You know, he walked onto a huge right hand. That was an unbelievable punch though. You know, and after that, Manny Pacquiao's had some really tough fights, and he's taken some good shots. No KP says, I don't like to see this Pac 42 years of age, 42-year-old. I don't like seeing fighters getting a beating. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure whether he's going to get a beating. We'll have to wait and see, guys. I think this is going to be great. I do. And I'm glad that Manny Pacquiao's daring to be great, daring to reach the stars once again. We need the young guys. We need the young fighters to do the same. They need to be pulling their weight like an old Manny Pacquiao. He saw the slow Thurman coming off from a mile off. Do you think Thurman's fast, I think, compared to Spence is a lot more methodical than Thurman. I think he's a lot more calculated. I'm 38 and I'm no soldier, but not that naive. Fair enough. I'm 28, so you're 10 years older than me. Two elite fighters, going to be a belter. Yeah, Oscar, you've hit the nail on the head. Two elite fighters. Manny Pacquiao at the age of 42 is still elite. It just tells you a lot about the guy. JAM84 says Prime Pack would defo hurt Spence for sure. Yeah, defo. That would be hard for Spence because that Prime Pacquiao was a monster. Don't underestimate Pac's experience. Just like Canelo's. Look at Spence and Terrence's resumes. Not enough elite experience. Pac is a different animal. I agree. Resume plays a big part because Manny Pacquiao's been in there with all of them. Cotto, De La Hoya, Marquez, Barrera, Morales, Floyd Mayweather. He's been in there with some great competition, some great fighters. That can't be overlooked, guys. When you compare Spence's resume and the experience, it's not close. It's not close. It's not close at all. 7 Pack still has the power, so yeah. Vodying 24 says, if Pacquiao can keep the pace up that he did in the first 6 rounds with Thurman fight, he has a great chance. He can have a better gas tank this fight because he has been light training since March. I hope so. I hope you're right. You know what? I have Pacquiao. I have a huge soft spot for Pacquiao, man. He was one of the reasons why I got watching the sport. And when I first got into the sport, Pacquiao was in his prime, and I was mesmerized watching this guy in his prime. Like, he was so good, so fast, so exciting to watch. Unbelievable was Pacquiao, and I hope he pulls it off, man. I hope he can pull it off. Watch the Errol Spence Jr. fight v Van Herden. Spence fights southpaws really well. Yeah, but Van Herden and Manny Pacquiao are two completely different beasts. Do you think it will be like Spence v Porter? No, because Manny don't fight like Porter. Porter brings it. Porter is a pressure fighter. Manny Pacquiao is more a fast combination puncher, moves in and out. Moves from side to side. It's a different fight. Manny's not going to be. Porter's physically very strong. He's a pressure fighter. Pacquiao's not like that. So I think it's a completely different fight. A 7-weight world champion should not be fighting at 42. That again shows how great he is, right? Hachi Boxer says Pacquiao can most definitely hurt Spence. Spence has a great chin, but Pacquiao has that awkward power where he can drop you from shots that you won't see coming. Nobody dropped Thurman except Pac. Yep. Yep. I'm not sure. Did Thurman get dropped early on in his career? I think he might have done. I don't know. Probably you may be right though. Vodjing 24. Anyone at welterweight would have been knocked out by the Marquez punch. The force was doubled because he jumped into it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was a bad knockout because he, like I said, he walked into the punch, and he got knocked out. But like I said, that was just one of those punches. But Pacquiao throughout his career has shown a very good chin. No KP says, I know Van Herden is no Pac, but just look at the technical skills of Spence. Yeah, he has got good skills. Very, very true. He has got good skills, but again, he hasn't faced anyone with this kind of style, with this kind of speed, with this kind of movement. So it's going to be something that he's going to have to prove. Jesuis Areola says, salute Imran. Choi is Choi. Who you got for the undisputed today? I'm good, brother. I hope you're well. I think it's a close fight, man. It's 50-50. I'm probably going to slide towards Taylor on points, but I won't be surprised if if he, what's his name? Ramirez beats him, because Taylor's body language has been a bit weird. He's been acting a little bit funny for me. And it wouldn't shock me if Ramirez pulls it off. Robbie Schmid says Mosley had a good chin and dropped him as well. Mosley didn't drop Pacquiao. When did Mosley drop Pacquiao? JM84 says, you're 10 years younger. I respect you, young man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being in the vid. Okay, Pac. Mark Jacob says, Pac has underrated pressure to last 12 rounds. Pac's durability seemed to diminish, but he believes his speed and traps in different level which can match Spence's ability. But as a Pac fan, we nervous af. Yeah, you know what? Nervous af is the word, because you know what? This could go horribly wrong. At the age he's at, and as good as Spence is, this may be a very, very difficult fight for Pacquiao. You know what? I'm going to be nervous before this fight for Pacquiao, because he could get stopped. And even if he wins or loses, this may be the last time we see Manny Pacquiao anywhere in a boxing ring. I think he should be, because if he does beat Spence, what's he got to prove? Who's he going to fight then? Are we going to say then he needs to go and fight Canelo? I think this should be it. I think enough should be enough. If he beats Spence, if he loses to Spence, then I think that should be it. He's 42. He's got a career outside of boxing, and I think this will be his last fight. I don't know what you guys think. But I personally think this will be Manny Pacquiao's last fight. I personally think this is his last fight. We'll never see Manny Pacquiao again, I think, after this fight. But who knows? Who knows? You never know with Pac-Man. You never know. Taylor, so no KP says, Taylor Jose, who you got? I've got Taylor by split decision. But again, that could go the other way. It's 50-50. I'm not picking with any confidence. It's a real 50-50 fight. I think Ramirez might stop Taylor. I think the way Taylor's been acting, I think Ramirez has got a great chance of stopping Taylor, because Taylor's been acting a bit funny for me. And I think if he goes toe-to-toe with Ramirez, I'm picking Ramirez. If Taylor decides to box, then I think it's a lot close. I think Taylor might nick it on points. But if Taylor's thing is with Taylor, right? Taylor, for me, is a type of fighter where I think you can draw him. I think the red mist descends and you can draw him into a fight. And if he gets drawn into a fight against Ramirez, I think I pick Ramirez. But Taylor seems to think he's stronger than Ramirez. Taylor seems to think he's a better all-round fighter than Ramirez. Well, time will tell. I see Pacquiao will split that long jab all day long. Possibly, man. Let's see. It's a great fight, guys. Great fight. I think Ramirez stops Taylor. Yeah, I won't be surprised. When Spence is 42, he will be in rehab. Yeah, but that again just shows you. Mike Ream says, if Jeff Horn was able to bully Pacquiao with no skills, even though I thought Pacquiao won, Errol is totally opposite. That jab, Manny Gas is out. He just wants a big check to take care of his. I don't know. I don't think Manny Pacquiao's taking this fight for a check, Mike. I think he's taking it because he believes he can win. I don't think Manny Pacquiao needs the money, so to speak. You know, he's made a lot of money throughout his career. If he wanted that check, I think the McGregor fight would have paid him more, really. I think he's daring to be great here, Mike. I don't think this is to do with a check. I think this is to do with him wanting, to secure his legacy. Guys, everyone in the live stream, can you smash the like button? I'd appreciate if you smash the like button. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash that like button, I'd appreciate it. Smash that like button, guys. I'd appreciate if you smash that like button. By the way, guys, do any of you want to come on? Do any of you want to come on and have a chat about this fight? Because I'm willing to put the link in the chat, and whoever wants to come on can come on. Okay, so what's this? It was a flash knockdown against Thurman because Thurman was going back. He cannot push Errol back. Remember, Errol is a dedicated body puncher, and Manny doesn't like body shots. No one likes body shots. Body shots, they suck the air out. They put water in the basement. No one likes body shots, Mike. No one likes body shots. If Spence was to fight Canelo, for example, he won't like those body shots either. So it's one of those. Yeah, he's a bigger man here, Spence. So Spence, can he use his size and strength and reach and all of that to his advantage? But Thurman had all of that as well. But unfortunately, Thurman couldn't do it. Is Spence a level above Thurman? Mike Crasuda says, Pacquiao will De La Hoya Spence lol. I think it's a bit of a different fight. De La Hoya was in his De La Hoya was in at the end of his career. Pacquiao was in his prime. Whereas now Pacquiao's at the end of his career and Spence is in his prime. So I think it's a completely different comparison to that, to be honest with you. Mike Ream says, and remember, there's no more fat camp for Errol Spence. He's back with strength conditioning. It's going to be ugly. We'll have to wait and see. Whatever happens in this fight, I hope it's not a sad ending for Pacquiao. I think a lot of people see it the same way. They don't want. I think there's going to be a lot of people. I think there's going to be more people supporting Manny Pacquiao here. Manny Pacquiao is going to have the crowd behind him. Manny Pacquiao is going to have a lot of people wanting Manny Pacquiao to win just because of the fact that of what he's done for the sport of boxing. He's a legend. So I think a lot of people are going to want to see Manny Pacquiao pull off this upset. Great fight for Spence, bad fight for Manny. You're probably right. You might be right. They're going to give Manny back his belt. Are they? Wow. Imagine if you're Ugas, how you'd feel. I'm nervous. I think Pacquiao gets wrecked. Getting wrecked. We'll have to wait and see. Mike Ream says Pacquiao been in there with a lot of guys that were past their prime. And he was on the juice. Adam M. Spence is too slow and even slower feet. Bud is the tougher fight, in my opinion. Yeah, he's got faster. But again, I think I put it this way. Spence is the more dangerous fight. Crawford might be the more harder fight. In terms of his speed and at Manny Pacquiao's age, being able to control the pace might be harder against Crawford because he's a smaller guy coming up. But definitely for me, Spence is the more dangerous fight. He's a bigger, stronger welterweight. Hits harder. Relentless pressure. Is a pressure fighter as well. That's a harder fight for sure. Not harder fight. More dangerous fight. Lol, there's one. You Pac haters still around. I remember you guys in 08, 09. Pac v Chavez Sr. Pac v Chavez Sr. I'd go for Pac. I think Jose will get a late stoppage. The key is Jose, left hook, body, and head. If Jose had success with the jab, then Taylor will make it a firefight, and that's when Jose will come into his own. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think his left hook is underrated. I think that left hook is quite dangerous. Some younger guy said Pac never been against a guy with Spence size. Never saw the Margarito fight. Yeah, I think he has been in with guys as big. I just think that he hasn't been in with a guy that's as skilled and as big. That kind of size and skilled as Spence. So yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm saying Taylor on points. I think there's a good chance Taylor nicks that fight on points, but it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. Like I said, if he gets stuck into a firefight, then he could get stopped as well. So it's going to be tough. So Vonjing 24 says, if Pac wins, he'll fight Crawford for the undisputed crown, something he has never accomplished. That'll be the greatest ending ever. But first, WBA should name him the super champion again. Yeah. Imagine if Pacquiao does that. Imagine if Pacquiao beats Errol Spence and then says, you know what, I'm fighting Crawford. Wow, that would be crazy. Honestly, I'm also very nervous for Pac. I had the same feeling when I watched Pac v Thurman. Pacquiao just loves proving us wrong. Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible what this guy's doing. It's incredible. And you got to respect it. You got to respect the hustle. You got to respect his you got to respect what he's doing, man. Fighting the best time and time again. It's incredible for a guy of his age to be doing that. It's just, yeah, crazy stuff by Pacquiao. Adam M. If Pac wanted money, it would have been Mikey, Porter, Danny, etc. And not the number one welter. Yeah. I don't think he's doing this for a paycheck. He's got plenty of money. I will take your opinion because you probably know more about him. I know Pacquiao, and so do you. But Pac probably thinks Spence can't KO him then. That's why he's taking the fight. I think he probably thinks Spence is slower and he can outbox him, use his hand speed, foot speed, and look to outbox him. It's just that whether he can do that for 12 rounds. He's taking the fight because Spence is slow as molasses. He said it himself. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think Spence is as slow as people think. I think Spence is actually quite sharp. But yeah, I think he's quite educated with his feet. I don't think Spence is slow at all, to be honest. I think it's not going to be easy at all, guys. I don't think Spence is slow. I think people have got it mistaken if they think Spence is slow. Spence ain't slow. Pacquiao's obviously a lot faster than Spence, but yeah, he's definitely not slow. Definitely not slow. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. This is gonna be exciting stuff. It'd be crazy if it's a draw. Then guess what, guys? We'll get a rematch. We'll get a rematch, and the rematch will hopefully be epic. So yeah, guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Smash that like button, guys. Smash the like button. Everyone in the live stream, I'd appreciate it if you smash the like button. Spence is gonna wreck poor old Manny. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait. If Pac is humiliated, I want Spence to honor him after the fight. I don't think he's going to be humiliated, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to be humiliated. Pac in his prime was a little warrior. I think Pac right now is a warrior. Forget about his prime. He's still a warrior. Richard Brown says, what's the latest on the Fury, Joshua, and Wilder stuff? Have you not heard? Wilder signed the contract. Wilder has signed the contract to fight Tyson Fury, and Fury was going to Vegas to sign the contract as well. So that fight's on. That fight's on. Joshua's not fighting Fury anymore. I think Joshua's going to fight Usyk, and Wilder's going to be fighting Fury. I think that's almost done. So Viet Raps React. Thanks you for the super chat, brother. It says Viet Raps React says, this is what you call greatness. Okay, let's just get this. So V8 Raps React says, this is what you call greatness. Let go, Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is what you call greatness. Manny Pacquiao is no doubt about it. Viet raps. He's a legend of the sport of boxing. He's an all-time great, and I just think what he's doing is he's showing these younger fighters what they need to be doing. He's showing these younger fighters that they need to be taking these risks, right? If he at 42 years of age can fight the best, right? And it's crazy that there's so many people that are giving Manny Pacquiao a chance in this fight. I think he can win. That again shows how great Manny Pacquiao is. Like, we haven't got fighters cut from that kind of cloth nowadays. We haven't got fighters cut from that cloth. And that's why I want to see all these young guys step up and give us the fight he wants, because Manny Pacquiao, throughout his career, has given us the fights we want time and time again. These young guys need to learn and need to give us the fight. You know, like Spence v. Crawford. Everybody wants to see that fight. But we haven't got to see it. We haven't got, the fight's not happened. The fight's not happened because for some reason, whatever, all the issues, Manny Pacquiao doesn't care about the political side. He wants to fight. And I feel like when there's two fighters that really desperately want to fight, I don't think it's hard to make the fight. And Pacquiao's proven that time and time again. It's unbelievable stuff from Pacquiao. It's unbelievable stuff. I've got so much respect for him. So much respect for him. And I think we'll never get a fighter like that again. Manny Pacquiao was cut from a different cloth. And the reason why Manny Pacquiao is doing it differently is because Manny Pacquiao is from another era. Yeah, but to be honest with you, yeah, you're right about that, JM84. We did wait years for Mayweather, but that Pacquiao wanted to fight Mayweather. Everyone now wants to adopt the Mayweather strategy. Mayweather fought them all as well. But everybody wants to be like Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather paid his dues early on in his career. Yes, he became more of a businessman towards the end of his career, but early on in his career, Mayweather fought the best. When he was at 135, 130, he fought the best. He wasn't shy. He fought everybody. MMA Boxing says Tyson Fury will KO Deontay Wilder round 8. Let's wait and see. I think that's going to be a great fight as well. I think people are writing off Wilder in that fight. I don't think that fight's going to be as easy as what people make it out. I think that's going to be a lot harder MMA than what people think. I think that's going to be a tough fight. A tough fight. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. Adam M says Bud v Pacquiao for the undisputed in December. You heard it here first. Wow. If Pacquiao does, I don't even know. I think you'll run out of words to praise Pacquiao with if he does that. If he beats Spence, that would be incredible. If he then says, you know what, I'm going to fight Crawford, that would be crazy. MMA Boxing and Anthony Joshua beats Alexander Usyk by unanimous decision. That's a tough one. That's a very, very tough one. Okay, so Richard Brown says, hopefully fights Porter or Thurman or Mikey next. Has got to be big fight for Crawford. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. Richard, it has to be a big fight for Crawford. It has to be. He needs a big fight. I don't know whether Bob Arum's going to be willing to put... I don't know. I hope it's a massive fight for Crawford, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with Crawford. I hope Crawford can get that big fight. Hopefully it's a Mikey. I think Mikey would be a good fight. Mikey would be a great fight. Great fight, Mikey would be. So AM says, even if Pac beats Spence, he can't be over Floyd because he lost to him. What do you guys think? What do you agree with AM? If Pac beats Spence, he can't be over Floyd because he lost to him. Now, in my personal opinion, I think in many people's all-time great list, Manny Pacquiao might go over Floyd. I know Floyd beat Manny Pacquiao and he was undefeated. It's just the fact that at 42 beating a top 5 pound for pounder, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because longevity has to be brought into it. And Manny Pacquiao's longevity is crazy right now. So that will have to be brought into it. I don't know. That's a tough question. The difference is Pac fought the same elite opponents in May did, whereas Bud has fought the top guys Spence fought. Yeah. Pac fought the elite opponents May did, whereas Bud has fought the top guys Spence fought. Yeah. Yeah. I think Mayweather and Pacquiao's resumes are unbelievable. They've fought everyone, really. When you think about their resumes, it's crazy, ain't it? Crazy stuff. Wilder will be super motivated, but will Fury be? I don't know. I think Fury was in the mindset that he'd be fighting Joshua, so would that affect him? I don't know. But Wilder will be super motivated. Wilder wants revenge. Wilder wants revenge, big time. He wants that revenge. He wants revenge. Mighty Crusader. Pacquiao experience may prevail. Yeah, most undoubtedly. That could be a problem, you know, the experience, the fighting at top level. Because let's be honest, Spence hasn't fought anybody as good as Manny Pacquiao, in my opinion. You know, it just depends. Is Manny Pacquiao's age going to catch up? Who knows? I don't think Spence is going to beat Pacquiao as easy as people think. Pacquiao is no BJ. Oh, of course not. Who's comparing him to BJS? AJ, who's comparing Pacquiao to BJS? No one's comparing Pacquiao to BJS. Pacquiao's an all-time great. Pacquiao's an all-time great. He's no BJS. Of course not. And I actually think I think people are underestimating Pacquiao in this fight. But that again might play into Pacquiao's hands. Is Spence going to underestimate? I don't think so. He knows what he's up against, even though Pacquiao's 42. Joshua will brutalize Usyk. AJ scares me when he unleashes combos. He's not the perfect fighter, but he shortens his punches well on the inside and is too big for most heavyweights, let alone little Usyk. Usyk's not little, you know. JMA, Usyk's not little. I know people keep going on he's little. Usyk's 6'3" or 6'4". Joshua's 6'6". Yeah, Usyk's not a big heavyweight, like size-wise, but he's not little Usyk. Trust me, he's massive. 6'3", 6'4". You know, Chisora and Usyk. I know Chisora was bigger from a size point of view, but Usyk was as tall, if not taller, than Chisora, right? He's not little, man. He's not little at all. Viet raps. Mayweather ran for Manny for 6 years, though. If he fight Manny around 2008-11, Mayweather had no chance of beating him. You know what? I would have that time. I just think Manny would be difficult to beat. I think the only guy that had any chance was Mayweather. I don't agree with you that he had no chance, but I definitely think beating Manny at that point would have been difficult because Manny was a beast. He was unbelievable. At that point, I remember my dad and speaking to my dad, and my dad saying that he goes, nobody beats Manny Pacquiao right now. He goes, I can't see anyone beating this Manny Pacquiao. Even Johnny Nelson said, I remember at the time that, you know, Mayweather would get beat. Floyd schooled Manny easy in 2015. He would have KO'd Manny in 2008. I don't think he would have KO'd Manny. No way. I think Manny had too good a chin. I don't think he KOs Manny at all. I think he could have beaten him on points, yeah. But I don't think he would have KO'd Manny. Manny was a monster at that point, let's be honest. Floyd fighting for YouTuber next TikTok because who's that? Eleanor says Floyd is fighting YouTubers next, TikTokers. You know what? He has paid his dues though. He has done a lot in the sport of boxing. So to be honest, I don't really want to give him. You know, I think you have to give him credit for who he's beat in his career. I get people are frustrated because Pacquiao's still fighting the best. But Floyd has paid his dues as well. We have to give Floyd the credit. He has done a lot in the sport of boxing. So yeah, I don't mind Floyd doing what he's doing. He's just making money now. He's not an active fighter anymore. Yeah, he did. You know, who's that? Crazy Bro says Mayweather wins no matter what. It's over now. Pacquiao lost. Give props where it's due. Yeah, you know what? You have to. He did lose that fight. You have to give him respect. Canelo knocks out Spence. Of course, Canelo knocks out Spence. Canelo's too big for Spence, Danny. He's too big. Um, but what do you think, Danny? Do you think Manny Pacquiao at age of 42 can pull this off? What do you think, Danny? I'd love to know your opinion. Alan Miller here. Wilder is a bum. There's a lot of people that don't like Deontay Wilder. Listen, Wilder's not a bum. He's a good fighter. But Wilder's excuses, I didn't agree with. You know, those excuses that he came out with, you know, they were distasteful. For a guy like Deontay Wilder, who was, you know, very exciting fighter. Let's be honest, Wilder's a very exciting fighter. But with those excuses, I don't think they sat down well with a lot of people. A lot of people were upset with those excuses. Guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Smash the like button, guys, in the live stream. I'd appreciate if you can smash the like button. I'd appreciate your support. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so yeah, Wilder, I think it was the excuses that people didn't like, and I didn't like either. As a fighter, I think he's really exciting. I think he's great to watch. And I love watching Wilder because he's so explosive. His fights aren't exciting because he doesn't do a lot and then he just out of nowhere. His fights are like dramatic because you don't know at any given moment he can wipe you out with his big right hand. And that's what made Wilder so exciting, so great, fan-friendly, pleasing to the eyes, pleasing to watch. But the excuses and stuff, I just think he couldn't handle defeat. Hopefully Wilder can come back. He's going to fight Fury again, and hopefully we get to see a great fight with him and Tyson Fury. I think Fury might be too much for him, but you know, I'd love to see him fight, put in a great fight. I think it should be a great fight with him and Deontay. But what do you guys think? How do you see that one going? Crawford v. Ugas is another possibility, but apparently, Richard, Pacquiao's getting his belt back. Someone said earlier, I don't know I need to look into it, but apparently Pacquiao might be getting his belt back. So if that's the case, then that fight doesn't really hold that much weight, does it? Von Jing 24 says greatness comes with accomplishments than head-to-head matchups. There is no reason Duran is held greater. His fellow horsemen. Imagine Pac is the same size as Mayweather. Yeah, that's a big thing. You know, greatness comes with what you achieve. Duran is regarded as a greater fighter than Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard although Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard as well, because Duran was a smaller fighter. Moving up. So that needs to be put into consideration. Pacquiao is smaller than Floyd, you know? So pound for pound, Alan Miller, who have I got winning, Taylor or Ramirez? I got Taylor by split decision. But if Taylor decides to have a war, if Taylor gets stuck in and decides to have a war, then I've got Ramirez. I think Taylor needs to box. He needs to box. If Taylor boxes, I think he might win the decision. I think he'll win the decision. The other thing is, a lot of people are saying that you know, Ramirez could get a dodgy decision as well, because in America, you know, they may want him to get the win. But I think Taylor will win on points if he fights a smart fight. But it's very close. I think it's kind of a split decision kind of fight. 50-50 for me. So my red eye won. Raymond's in the house. He goes, yeah, Mayweather. It's a hard one. You know, I spoke to many Pacquiao fans that believe that Pacquiao won that fight. Guys, I honestly, I can't see it. I can't see how you saw Pacquiao win that fight. You know, I watched that fight and it was quite a comfortable win. I'm not saying Pacquiao didn't have moments in the fight, but I thought Mayweather won that fight. I just got to be honest with you guys. I thought Mayweather won that fight quite comfortably. He didn't win that fight, guys. I'm sorry. You guys know I say it how it is. I thought Pacquiao beat Jeff Horn. I thought Pacquiao beat Bradley the first time. and I thought Mayweather beat him, but I think Pacquiao struggled in that fight to land on Mayweather. Mayweather was very elusive in that fight. Mayweather came in that fight with a strategy. He didn't want to let Pacquiao get to him, and we fought a perfect fight. Christian, Patman has beat Hall of Fame fighters. He has fought elite fighters. I would love to give Patman the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, he has. He has fought. It's going to be hard, though, man. It's going to be hard. Floyd schooled Manny easily in 2015. Would have got KO'd. I wouldn't have KO'd Manny. I don't think so. Manny was more cautious when he fought Floyd after he got KO'd by Marquez. Can you imagine how many right hands Floyd would have landed? Yeah, but Floyd landed a lot of right hands when they fought in 2015, Tiger. Remember how many right hands he landed, but Pacquiao sucked them up. That was just a big punch. That was just a big, big punch that he landed, Marquez. Pacquiao's chin was always great. It's just that he walked into that one. Firstly, I don't think Floyd packed that kind of power. To be honest, I don't think he would have KO'd Manny Pacquiao. No, not at 2008. Crazy Bro says Mayweather wins no matter what. Man, it's over now. Pacquiao lost. Give him props. Yeah, it is over. Mayweather's power and accuracy would have knocked Manny out. Manny was more reckless then. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Mayweather would have knocked Manny out in 2008? I don't think so, man. Canelo knocks out Spence. Yes, I agree. Canelo would knock out Spence. Canelo's too big for Spence, in my opinion. I think he's just naturally a bigger guy, and he's too good a boxer as well. I just think that wouldn't be a good matchup for Spence. Well played, Imran. Floyd has paid his dues, and he did beat Pat. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Then this narrative that Floyd schooled Pac is bullshit. The fight was high-level chess match. No one dominated no one. I don't know about schooled because Floyd didn't really throw. I thought he won. I thought he won the fight. I thought he won the fight. Just put it that way. Thought he won the fight. Both were defensively responsible and mostly aware of their opponent's next move, and neither was landing high volume of significant punches. Yeah, I think Floyd did what he had to do to win. Do you know what I mean? I think he did what he had to do to win. Manny Pacquiao v. Errol Spence Jr. on August 21st. Manny Pacquiao is going to win by TKO. Wow. And 10th round or 11th rounds, he'll become the new IBF and WBA super welterweight champion of the world. Wow. See, I told you, there are people out there that think Pacquiao can. I've seen quite a few, actually, that think that Pacquiao can pull this off. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. Crazy Bro says Spence beats Pacquiao by unanimous decision or split decision. I don't know. I think Spence is I think Spence is the favorite in this fight. And as much as I love Manny Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao is one of my all-time great fighters, a guy that I got into the sport watching. I have to say Spence right now is young, fresh, bigger. It's going to be hard for Pacquiao. But like I said, my heart will be with Manny Pacquiao. I always stay neutral, but on this occasion, and I like Errol Spence. I love Errol Spence, but I would love to see Manny Pacquiao pull this off. But it's gonna be difficult, man. It's gonna be difficult. Manny Pacquiao would shock me if he beats Errol Spence. And to be honest with you guys, when Manny Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman, I picked Manny Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman. And I've said all these years that I've been on YouTube, right? I've never picked against Manny Pacquiao in a fight, even against Thurman. Whenever he's fought, I've never picked against Manny Pacquiao. I'm picking against Manny Pacquiao for the first time. My brother actually thinks Pacquiao can win this fight. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think Manny can win. I just don't think he will. MMA boxing, who you got, Taylor or Ramirez? I have Taylor winning. Taylor by Split decision, very close fight, but I won't be surprised if Ramirez wins either. It's a close one. So it's a lot closer for me than what people think. Put it that way. I don't think this is by no means an easy fight for what's his name? Taylor. A lot of people seem to think that Taylor wins easy. No chance. No chance. Von Jing 24. Floyd gave Pacquiao problems with his distance management and not allowing Pacquiao to land punches in bunches that he normally would. Yeah, he did. Yeah. That's because Floyd controls distance very well. Floyd is defensively very responsible, and he's very good at controlling distance. And Pacquiao was the smaller guy. Next fight, Manny Pac rematch with Floyd Mayweather 2. Floyd not fighting Pacquiao. No chance. Floyd is not going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao gave Floyd problems with his movement, angles, and pressure to the point that Floyd did not engage like he normally would, even inciting his father to tell him that he was fighting scared. Yeah, his father wanted him to be more aggressive, but Floyd knew what he was doing. Who is Manny fighting next? Errol Spence. Surely you know that, Jessica. You must have seen the news by now. It's broke the internet. The news broke the internet. In my opinion, I think Pacquiao edged Floyd by a bit by landing the cleaner, more impactful punches, also evident by the highlights at the end of each round. Guys, does anyone want to come on to the live chat and have a chat about this fight? Do you want me to drop the link in the live stream? So if anyone that wants to come on, I can have on one at a time, or I might get a couple of you on. Does anyone want to come on, guys? I'm gonna leave the link. I'm gonna leave the link in the stream for you guys. All right. If you want to come on, come on. I'm just gonna leave the link there for you guys. So, guys, the link. I've just left the link. I've dropped the link in there. I've dropped the link in the chat. If you want to come on, speak. Come on. I've just dropped the link in the YouTube. In the YouTube chat section. So yeah, if you want to come on and we can have a chat about this. I would love to have you guys on. Floyd v. Bud. Yeah, Floyd ain't fighting Terence Crawford. No chance. No chance. Okay, Viet Raps, thanks for the super chat. Let me just get his opinion on this. This is what Viet Super Chats has said here. I want to get this up. Okay, so what do you guys... Mayweather is a better fighter, but Manny is greater. I'd agree with that. I agree that Floyd may be all around technically better, but Manny might be the greater fighter in what he's achieved in the sport of boxing. If he beats Errol Spence, his for me legacy surpasses Floyd. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I think his legacy surpasses Floyd. If he's not already done that already. So I agree with Viet Rap's react here that I think that what he's doing at his age, come on, this is not normal now. This has never been done before like that. You know, this guy's fighting top level competition at the age of 42. That's unheard of, guys. That's unheard of. So, guys, the link is in the chat. If you want to come on, come on. I've left the link for you guys so you can easily, guys, come on. Let's go back to where we were. Yeah, Floyd ain't fighting. Bud, no way. No way. Crazy bro says, glad you're not a judge, Von Jing. Laugh, Miles, if you think Manny won the fight. Yeah, I don't think. Did you see Tank v Barrios face off? Quite a big size difference, 100%. It was a massive size difference. Huge size difference. That's going to be a tough fight. But I've got Tank winning that fight, to be honest with you. It's gonna be tough, but I've got him winning. I think he'll win that fight. That's just my personal opinion. I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. But yeah, I think I think he'll pull that off. Tiger Stripe and Manny landed 2 left hands. So Manny Pac, new title back. IBF and WBC title August 21st. So Manny Pac, so is the WBA super belt been put back on the line? Has Manny Pacquiao been reinstated? I'll have to look into that. I don't know whether he's been reinstated here. Pacquiao did not win that fight. No, I agree, he did not. Unfortunately, Spence beats Pacquiao. He's too big for him and just in his prime. Yeah, you're not wrong there, Danny. You're not wrong there. I think that's most people's opinion, that he's just maybe too young, too fresh in his prime. But I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a very good fight. I think it'll be a fight that we'll enjoy. And most importantly, I think you got to give credit for Manny Pacquiao for taking this fight at this age. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Von Jing 24 says, fight was competitive and no one dominated. No one. So Tiger Stripe says, Floyd dominated Manny and that's why your butt hurt. Get over it. Floyd beat Manny Pacquiao without breaking sweat. I think he beat him. I think he was actually, he did break sweat in the sense that his concentration levels were on another point. He was so focused. He wanted to win. So yeah, I think Floyd, that fight was a lot harder for him than what people think because he was mentally so switched on, right? And that takes a lot out of you when you have to be mentally switched on because he wanted to win that fight so bad. So AVG Varela says Manny with Floyd was 5 years too late. I agree. It was 5 years too late. It was 5 years too late. We got to see that fight 5 years past its due date, really. It should have happened in 2010, really. Let's be honest. After Manny beat Hatton, I think that was the time to make that fight. Franz P. Agree. Mayweather won that one because of Manny's shoulder injury. Mayweather can't knock nobody out, not at the elite level. Yeah, he's not really a big puncher. JM84 says, let's talk about Spence v Pacquiao. Yeah, let's talk about Spence v Pacquiao. That's the thing. Pacquiao and Mayweather's gone. Let's not make this about Mayweather and Pacquiao because it's not about that. Radai 1 says Spence stops Pacquiao probably late on due to Manny getting tired, and he could wear Manny Pacquiao down. But again, I just, you can't count out Pacquiao, can you? He's just such a great fighter. I just wouldn't count him out. Spence is much bigger than Canelo. The difference is Canelo adjusted. I don't think Spence is bigger than Canelo at all. I don't think Canelo could make welterweight now. Spence can. You know, Canelo, remember when Canelo was fighting at those weight classes, he was like a young kid. But Canelo couldn't make welterweight, could he? See, size, Canelo's size, he's very big. He's very stocky. He's a very big guy. Very, very big, strong, strapping guy. So no, Spence is muscular, but he's a skinnier guy. You know, Spence, Canelo is way bigger than Spence, way bigger than any welterweight. Spence could do the same. Spence is way too big in the division he's in. Yeah, he's big, but he's not a big middleweight, not at all. Tiger Stripe. There was nothing wrong with Manny's shoulder. Stop. Did you see him lifting his arm after the fight? Brendan Jackson. Floyd landed the cleanup shots more often than Pacquiao did. It's too much Pacquiao Spence. Radai says Spence is not bigger than Canelo. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he is. No. Spence is a lot smaller than Canelo. Canelo's huge. Hachi Boxer says, in my opinion, a prime Pacquiao would have beaten Floyd. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would have been difficult for anybody. I think the only guy that could have done it is Floyd. Had Edgwick and Freddie Spike. So Adam says Floyd had egg weights and Freddie Spike packs water. That's why he lost. Brilliant. A wilder excuse there. A wilder excuse. Franz P says Manny is climbing a big mountain against Spence, especially that he is in his 40s. Regardless if he win or lose, Manny is a GOAT for fighting Spence, the best of the best in 5 decades, in 8 divisions. Yeah, unbelievable stuff there. Unbelievable stuff. He's definitely, you know, daring to be great, ain't he? He's daring to be great. So JM84 says Spence will come off age in this fight. It will increase his confidence and make him more committed to the sport. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for either man. I think it's going to be tough for sure. I think it's going to be tough for sure. It's going to be a tough fight for both. I think it's an easy fight, like people going on. No way. I think Manny's gonna definitely bring the heat. He's gonna bring the whatever. I think he's gonna bring the last best of Manny Pacquiao in this fight. It's gonna be hard for him, but he's gonna bring the last best. Canelo hurt Spence. He has no chance. Yeah, I don't think Canelo will beat Spence. It's too big. Alan Miller says Floyd hasn't got the power to knock Pacquiao. Of course he hasn't. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Not at any point. I think Pacquiao's chin was great throughout his career. So I don't think. Guys, I did drop the link in there. If any of you want to come on, come on. You can come on and we can have a chat about this. I'd love to have a chat with you guys about this fight and what you guys think. I'd love to know your thoughts about this fight because it's a big one. It is a big one. Jessica, both are 5'9". Okay, so Jessica, JM84 says, I will come on, but my son is screaming in the background. Your son is screaming in the background. As long as it's not too bad, you just come on. Anyone that wants to come on, the link's there. If you want me to send the link again, I can send it again. Just let me know, guys. Let me know if you want to come on. Floyd fought for his record. Manny fought for the fans. Yeah, Manny's a warrior. He's a warrior. I think Pac v Spence fight may have happened as you hear promoters. Promoters don't give easy fights these days due to COVID. Your pal Khan may get a handouts too if he comes back. May get handouts too. To be honest with you, I think Khan will fight Brook. I think so. That'll be a great fight if that happens for us, the UK. Even though the two guys past their prime, I'd love to see that. Jessica, two questions. When's the date for Manny v Spence? And I thought Davis was gonna serve time. Two questions. So Manny v Spence is August 21st, right? Davis, I don't know about what went on with his case and stuff. Didn't really follow that. But Davis is fighting soon. He's fighting soon. He's fighting Barrios. Franz P. Margarito is way bigger and stronger puncher than Spence could ever be. I don't know. I don't think he's as good a fighter as Spence, though. I think Spence is a more complete fighter than Margarito, to be honest with you. Jay Foreman, another example is Marquez v Pacquiao. I'm a huge Marquez fan, but I recognize that in the history books, Pacquiao is greater. Yeah, absolutely. He is greater. Pacquiao destroys Mayweather if they fought right now. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Mayweather's finished. He's inactive and he's fighting. Not stiff competition. So, yeah, that wouldn't be that wouldn't be a contest right now, in my opinion. Yeah, after Manny beat Hatton. Yeah, after Manny beat Cotto. Yeah, that Pacquiao was something else. To be fair, Floyd is retired, so he shouldn't be scrutinized and compared to Pacquiao anymore. It's a little annoying if he is still active, then it should be a case. You know what? Everyone just brings up Pacquiao Mayweather because those two have been the two best of this era. So everybody just brings up Floyd and Manny Pacquiao, Floyd and Manny Pacquiao, Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. People can't talk Floyd without talking Pacquiao, and people can't talk Pacquiao without mentioning Floyd. I think people should just let it go and let Floyd. He's retired now. Let him do his thing. And let Pacquiao do his thing. Pacquiao still performing at the highest level. Mayweather retired years ago. So I think you just got to let Mayweather be now. Pacquiao, like JM84 says, you got to live in the present. Manny is gonna get knocked clean out. No love for Manny. No love for Manny from Hawker. Stung there. He's not giving Manny any chance here. He says Manny's going to get knocked clean out. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Don't overlook Manny. Don't overlook Manny. He's not one to be overlooked. I used to love Mayweather, but as a boxer, I haven't watched any of these exhibitions live as I lost interest. You know what? I've watched Mayweather's exhibitions because it's an event and it's Mayweather, right? So we're going to tune in. Oh, I'm going to tune in anyway. Just Floyd says Floyd is not better. He's fighting in a circus. Yeah, he's now fighting. He says, yeah, but you have to give him credit for his career, what he did in his career. His career was, he was a stellar fighter in his, in early on in his career. He fought the best. He did fight the best. You have to give him that credit. He fought everyone. Canelo Alvarez, 168 all belts and 160 pounds all belts. Hopefully, let's see. Let's see if he can do it. Hawk Mustang says, Errol, the weight bully Spence. Wow. Canelo is 5'7". Yeah, he is 5'7", but he jumps up weight. Screen froze. I think it's all right now. Manny will shock the world once again. Cesar says, Manny will shock the world once again. Let's see if he can. Can he shock the boxing world once again? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me because Manny Pacquiao is that type of guy. I thought a lot of people were surprised when he beat Thurman, but this would be a whole new level. Everything from 135 pounds to present time was just icing on the cake. Yep, indeed. It depends how many times his cycle. Does T Bud resign with TR in October? I think most probably yes. Most probably yes. In your opinion, do you think Floyd or Pacquiao's were ever on the PDs? I don't know. I don't. They never ever tested positive, so I don't. I really want to. I don't really want to. You know, nah, no, no. They never tested positive, so no. So Jad Flid. Okay, so thanks for the super chat, Jad Flid. Let's see what he has to say. Jad Flid says, isn't it crazy that MP used to be the lineal flyweight champion of the world? He is still kicking ass and taking names in the welterweight. He is a bad guy. You are right. He's a bad guy. You know what? It's incredible what he's done and the way he's done it in such dominating fashion. The problem is, you know why a lot of people accuse Manny is wrong? Is because he's so great. And without any proof, people still try to make out like, oh, he did this, he did that. Listen, he never ever failed a drugs test in how many decades of fighting, right? This man is a legend. He's a legend, right? I don't know why people like to bring people down just because they assume oh, nah, man, I'm sorry. And people say the same about Floyd. Oh, he used this, he used that. Like, stop, man. Stop. I just don't like, they never failed a drugs test. Never failed a drugs test. That's it. We're not privy to what goes on behind the scenes, but we never ever failed a drugs test in their entire career. They've been fighting for so long. So let's give credit where it's due, man. Let's give credit where it's due. And Mayweather and Pacquiao, let me get this out there. Mayweather and Pacquiao are two of the greatest fighters ever. In mine, they're two for me in the top 5 greatest fighters of all time. Some people will say top 10. Some people might not have either in the top 10, but for me, definitely top 10 and maybe top 5. Where do you guys place them in history? Where do you guys place them? Jed Flid, where do you place Manny and Floyd in history? Where do you place them? Where do you place them in the history of sport? So no, Hachi Boxer, I don't think any of them were on PEDs. Never ever failed a drugs test. So the 2-year layoff is more than an issue than age. Yeah, it's 2 years out the ring, but at that age, it makes it worse because you're old. So when you've been inactive and old, it's harder, man. He's 42 and he's been inactive, so that makes it even harder. Who's on your top 5 pound for pound? So you're talking current, right? On my top 5 pound for pound, I've got Canelo Alvarez, so I've got Canelo, Crawford, Inoue, Spence, and then I'd probably say Usyk. The fact that he's been an undefeated, although Usyk's not done a lot. You could probably put Lopez number 5 after what he did, but it's only really one win. Maybe some good, I think those 4 are certain for me. You name your top 5, Happy Meal. What's your top 5? I'd go Usyk number 5 just because of what he's done in the cruiserweight division. He lacks a big win at heavyweight, though. Jessica says Porter got robbed against Spence. I don't see how Spence beats Manny. Wow. I don't think he was robbed. I think it was a close fight, and I think the fight could have easily gone in Porter's favor. It was a close fight, but I think the knockdown that what's his name got, that Spence got, I think that changed it in his favor. That changed it in his favor. So Canelo v Manny 160. If Manny goes up 2 weight classes, no, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Come on, that's not happening. Pacquiao destroyed most of Mayweather's elite fighters, including De La Hoya, Cotto, Hatton, as the undefeated fighter. Yeah, he did. To be fair, he destroyed Hatton in 2 rounds. He beat Cotto up, unbelievable. Like, he battered Cotto. De La Hoya, he got battered as well. So really, when you think about it, he absolutely wiped the floor with those guys, man. He wiped the floor. So Jed Flid said, isn't it crazy? Yeah, Manny Pacquiao, man, you got to give him credit. He's still doing his thing. He's still doing his thing at such a late age, advanced age, and he's still fighting the best. I think he's setting an example for these young kids. And that's all I can say, is that he's setting an example. And hopefully a lot of these young fighters look at Manny Pacquiao and say, you know what? And say that we need to follow the footsteps of Manny Pacquiao. Not be worried about losing and worried about our O, but go in there and fight the best. Because I feel like a lot of people are trying to follow the Floyd Mayweather strategy. But Floyd Mayweather early on in his career fought everybody, right? The fact of the point is Floyd Mayweather was a maverick. He was an all-time great, right? Not everybody can be like that. So a lot of people want to keep their zero, be undefeated because of Floyd, because Floyd was undefeated and he made so much money out of the sport of boxing, is that these guys want to be like Floyd. But without putting the Floyd, everybody wants Floyd Mayweather money without putting in the work that Floyd Mayweather did. So for me, I would rather Manny Pacquiao as a fan. I'd rather see someone be like Manny Pacquiao. It doesn't matter if they lose. Manny Pacquiao's lost what, 7 times, but who cares? Does that take away from his greatness? Does that take away the fact that he's a legend? No, because when you fight the best time and time again, you know, eventually you could lose. But all those who fought Floyd say he ran and fought dirty. That was later on in his career, not early on, though. What if Pacquiao goes down? I don't think Pacquiao's going down to 140. No way. I don't see it. And the big money fight's at 147. I'll be pulling for Pac, though I think he'll lose to Spence. Whatever happens, I respect Pat for taking this risky fight. I love that there was no rumors and no drama. They just made it happen. Yeah, I love that. There's too much talk nowadays, isn't there, Jay? There's too much talk and no fight. Whereas this one, there was no talk and we got a fight. So fair play. Not a big fan of Floyd's style, other than his timing and his defense. And I place Manny as 1 in boxing. Ooh. Manny Pacquiao is great, no doubt about it. Pac-Man number 3, Robinson and Armstrong. Okay, so Burning Desire said, why is Spence in pound for pound? He's only fought at welter. I think he's just the number 1 welterweight. That's about it. Because I think people rate Spence skills and stuff as a pound for pound material. And I think he will, I think, eventually move away. Pac-Man number 3 behind Robinson and Armstrong. Wow. Probably. You know, you're not wrong. Manny Pacquiao he's a special fighter, man. He's a special fighter. I think for me, he's in the top 5. Pacquiao. The truth hurts. Manny Pacquiao is helping Floyd maintain the 50-0, not to be beaten. They are working together. Pacquiao will stop Trey to get close to 50-0. Yeah. Years ago. Ram says years ago, though. What are we talking about there? So Jad Flid says, Pacquiao is definitely top 5 all-time. Floyd top 25. Floyd had potential, but he didn't push for legacy. You can have all the skills, but if you don't use it for glory, then the skills should have gone to someone else. Wow. Jed Flid puts it out there. I think Floyd's definitely in top 10. I would definitely even say top 5. I think you have to give him his due. He has done a lot in the sport. Ram says, yeah, he is. There's absolutely no fear in Manny. Yeah, he is. There's no fear whatsoever. He ever tried to get near 50-0 will be stopped by Manny Pacquiao. What do you mean by that? The truth hurts. He ever will get tried. What do you mean by that? Happy Meals giving his top 5 pound for pound. Happy Meal says Canelo at number 1, Spence at number 2, Crawford at number 3, Lopez at number 4, and whoever wins are on top of Joshua, Fury, and Wilder will be his number 5th one. So, but what's your number 5 right now, though? What's your number 5 right now? Is it Usyk? The fact that he was undisputed. So Ram says Floyd was defensive first and just outpointed opponents, not fan friendly at all. Yeah, he wasn't fan friendly. He was quite a defensive, especially later on. I think early on his career was more exciting. I think later on I think he became more defensive. I think early on Floyd Mayweather's fights, but the problem is early on his fights didn't get publicized as much. He wasn't as big a star as he was later on in his career, but early on his fights were a lot more exciting. He would throw more punches, he would be more aggressive, he'd get hit more. Uh, but later on he became more of a defensive, where Pacquiao style never really changed. Only problem for Manny is he can't get tired in the late rounds. But I think he can win. Yeah, I think that's going to be an issue for him. It's late on in the fight. He can't afford to get tired in this fight. He can't afford to, he just can't get tired, because Spence has that relentless pressure, and Spence will put it on him late on in the fight, and that could be problematic for him. So hopefully he can keep up his stamina towards a later on in the fight. Otherwise, it could get hard for him down the stretch. Jay Foreman says Floyd's last fight was against a super wash Berto, correct? Pac's last fight possibly against a prime Spence. That says a lot. Yeah, true. You know what? And Floyd could have fought guys at that time. Floyd could have easily fought Khan, Furman. He could have fought guys like that who were at the top at the point, but he decided to fight Berto. There was a lot of talk about him fighting Khan after, but he didn't fight that fight. I think that would have been a better way for Floyd to go out than fighting Berto. That was before Khan fought Canelo, and Khan was hot property at that point, and I think a lot of people wanted to see Floyd fight Amir Khan. So I think that would have been a more credible fight for Floyd at that point than fighting Andre Berto, So okay, so Concha. I got Ramirez. Mexicans have been upsetting British boxers lately. Yeah, they have. They sure have. So can you break down what might happen for this upcoming fight? Which one? Are you talking about Ramirez and are you talking about Ramirez and Taylor? Which up and coming fight, or Pacquiao? So Jed Flid, thanks for the super chat, brother. MP fighting style is the wrong type to move up 10 weight classes. He takes too much shots. MP. Yeah, it is the wrong. Yeah, it is. You're right there. It takes too many shots, but yet he did it. That's another reason why he's a bro. You know what? That's a great point. With Manny Pacquiao's fighting style, he's not a defensive fighter. He's an aggressive fighter. So the fact that he was able to move up higher weight classes and be able to fight the way he did and not change his style is incredible. Because if you look at Floyd, as Floyd moved up, his fighting style changed. He became more defensive, right? So you're 100% spot on there. You're 100% spot on about that. That's the reason why Pacquiao, for me, should be ranked higher than Floyd, because of that. Because of the fact that he was a smaller guy, he moved up so many weight classes, yet he didn't change his fighting style. That needs to be respected. That's a great point that you pick up there. That's a great point that you bring up. Great point. And that's what makes Manny Pacquiao's career incredible. You're 100% spot on with that. That Manny Pacquiao moved up, and that's what makes it incredible, because most fighters aren't able to do that. Most fighters reach a ceiling. Manny Pacquiao never seemed to reach a ceiling. Manny Pacquiao never seemed to reach a ceiling. That you're 100% spot on there. That's a brilliant point. That Manny Pacquiao never really, what he did, moving up so many weight classes and never really changing his style. Floyd changed his style. At 147, Floyd, you know why Floyd, a lot of people say Floyd's boring. He wasn't like that early on in his career. But because of the fact that he moved up weight classes, Floyd knew that he couldn't trade with these guys. Look, Mosley almost wiped Floyd out. Mosley almost knocked Floyd Mayweather out. But you see Manny's chin and Manny's power. He defied, but like he defied logic, Manny Pacquiao, and the fact that he was such a small guy as well. Yeah. That for me. You're right. You're 100% right. That's why for me, Manny Pacquiao's career is unbelievable because of that. He managed to move up weight classes and he was bullying bigger men. I personally think you're 100% spot on that he's definitely of top 5 of all time for me. I think I don't honestly, like I said to you, if Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence and you were to say to me, Manny Pacquiao is the greatest fighter of all time, I'm talking greatest ever. Like I'm saying better than Robinson, better than Ali, better than all of those guys. I wouldn't argue with you. He's in that discussion now. He's in that discussion. So I definitely agree. I think he's top 5. I think he's top 5 of all time. I do. I think you have to say that he's up there. You have to say he's up there. It's incredible what he's done. The Truth Hurts says Pacquiao will stop whoever to get to 50-0. Okay, whoever to get to 50. Patman. So Patman and Spence, this fight, personally, I think it's going to be a case where Manny's going to have to use his fast hands, fast feet, get in and out. If he's able to do that for 12 rounds, he may be able to win a decision. It's just the fact that I think Errol Spence is going to put pressure on him. He's going to go down to the body, try hurt Manny Pacquiao to the body, slow Manny Pacquiao down, try to bully Manny Pacquiao at times. Also, Spence may also do what Floyd Mayweather did: keep it long, keep it at distance, try to make Manny miss, try to keep the fight long. Spence is in my opinion, could do 2 strategies. Either bully Manny Pacquiao, look to rough him up, use his size and strength, which brings Manny Pacquiao into the fight, or he could try to use the range. But again, I think Manny Pacquiao could have an answer for both strategies. It's a fight where your head has to say Spence. I think you have to say Spence is the legitimate favorite in the fight, but it's one where Manny Pacquiao is a live underdog. By paper, I would have to say Fury. Okay, fair enough. Liked and sub. Thank you, Ram. I appreciate it. Hey, Ben. Can't compare Floyd to Patman. Patman has been fighting legends since early 2000s. Barrera, Morales, Marquez, just to mention a few. He's always risking everything in fights. Can't disagree with you there. Ram says, agree with that. 100%. Right. People said people don't get that. Yeah, people don't get that. They don't get that. Pinoy off W from Saudi Arabia says, anything can happen no matter what. As long as you fight in the ring that you wanted to win. Pacquiao all the way support. Yeah, Pacquiao's got a lot of support here. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of neutrals, a lot of British fans. I'm from the UK. Most people here will be supporting Pacquiao as well. I think a lot of people would love to see Pacquiao win this. I just think they have Pacquiao has so many fans. He has so many fans and so many people that love him. I think this is going to be a great event. A great event. Great fight, man. I can't wait. Patman v Errol. Like I said, I think Manny Pacquiao, like I just said to you, he's going to have to use his quick hands, quick feet, in and out. I don't really want to. I think Errol Spence will look to either fight 2 ways, either at distance or he'll look to bully Manny Pacquiao, and that's why I'm edging towards a Spence probably late stoppage. But I hope I'm wrong. There, Zeus. I hope I'm wrong. Name a fighter who always fights somebody that may or may not beat him. Most of his fights, you don't know if he's going to win or not. He's an all-time risk taker and an all-time great. Yeah, he is risk taker because let's be honest, he's an underdog in this fight. Manny's underdog in this fight. There's no doubt about it, guys. I'm just gonna put my charger in. My chargers. I'm running out of charge here. I'm just gonna stick my charger in. Give me a sec, guys. I'm just gonna stick my charger in. But yeah, he's definitely always taking risks, and that's what's great about Manny Pacquiao. He's fighting fights. Now, the fight against Lucas Matisse, a lot of people thought Matisse, although I thought he'd beat Matisse, I didn't think Matisse was ever going to beat Manny Pacquiao. I thought that, Matisse's power could come on show. And Manny was old then. People were saying then Manny needs to retire. People in 2016 were saying Manny should retire. And look how many great fighters Manny's beat after that. Like, the guy's incredible, man. The guy's incredible. He's beat so many great fighters. When you look at his resumes, like that resume is probably the best in boxing. Pacquiao's probably got one of the best resumes in boxing history. Like he's up there. Pacquiao's resume is up there with like Ali and guys like that. Ali had an unbelievable resume, just a resume full of champions. And Manny Pacquiao is cut from the same cloth. He's also got a resume full of great fighters as well. Happy Meal says Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis. I've got to say Tank Davis. I think Ryan Garcia, I don't know. That's a good fight though. I would pick Ryan in that fight, but it's a good one. That would be a good fight. Manny said Thurman was hard. Manny did say Thurman was hard. I remember that. He said that Thurman was a tough fight. He said Thurman was a tough fight. And it wasn't that. It was that he also said that Thurman hits very hard. He is a very big puncher. Because Thurman's a big welterweight, man. He can punch. Okay, so Happy Meal's asking, who do you think would win between Ruiz and White? That's a good one, That's a good one. Ruiz didn't look too good in his last fight, did he? I don't know, that's a 50-50. I'd probably edge towards Ruiz, but I think White has a great shot in that fight as well. So Jessica says, that's how I see Canelo. He fights all styles and moves up in weight. Yeah, I don't think Canelo's done it like... See, Manny Pacquiao fighting Spence is like Canelo fighting Beterbiev. I think if Canelo fights Beterbiev, I think that's kind of the same kind of level. The only difference is Manny Pacquiao's 42. So, and Canelo's more in his prime. So I think we would like to see Canelo fight a Beterbiev for him to... I don't think Canelo has fought anybody where you can say that, it's equivalent to Pacquiao fighting Spence, especially at the age of 42. I think if Canelo was to fight Beterbiev, I think then he would be doing a similar kind of thing to what Pacquiao's doing, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think this is definitely a great. I can't, like I said, I think what Pacquiao's doing at this age is, I can't praise it enough. Adam KM says, Spence's pressure and physical presence will try to bully Pacquiao. I think it will be too much for Pac-Man. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I agree. I think we all got that kind of fear that, that could happen. We've all got that kind of fear that could definitely happen. It's going to be tough, man. It's not going to be easy for Pacquiao in this fight. Pacquiao just keeps going, Ram says. Yeah, he keeps going. He just keeps going, man. He just keeps going, and let's see how far this will go. Let's see where the journey comes to an end. I think it's not long now. I think he will probably after this fight maybe hang it up. Floyd is still number one. The Truth Hurts says Floyd is still number one. You're entitled to your opinion. He's got no fear whatsoever. I think Spence not the same after the car crash. He looked good in the Danny Garcia fight, though. I think we have to say, Spence looked great in the Danny Garcia fight. So I don't know about that. Spence looked unbelievable. So I'm not sure. I think Spence looked really, really good. So I don't know. I don't know whether we can say he's not the same. I still think Pac-Man should have a warm-up fight after 2-year layoff. Yeah, but I think Pac-Man's at the stage of his career where a warm-up fight doesn't make sense for him. A warm-up fight for what? Like, what's he, he just wants to jump into the big fight. He's thinking that I can still do it. I just want to jump into a big fight. And I think that's why you're seeing Pac-Man jump straight into the lion's den. Regardless, Adam says, regardless, I'll always regard Ali and Pac-Man as the people's champ. Yeah, for sure. Legends. Zeus says, my heart is with MP, but I'm a bit worried about his stamina. If we look at the Thurman fight, he seems to be getting tired during the last couple of rounds. Yeah, I agree. I think stamina is going to be a big issue, especially with Spence's style. That relentless pressure of Spence may be a problem. So we're going to have to wait and see how Pacquiao gets on. I think that relentless pressure could be a problem for Pacquiao, but he can do it, man. He can do it. There's something that tells me that we're going to see a classic fight on August 21st. Something tells me we're going to see a classic fight. I don't know what you guys think, but something tells me we're going to see a classic. Manny said Thurman was hard. Spence will be very tough. Yeah, it will be very tough. I agree. I think Manny did say that Thurman was very hard. I think it was the size and the strength and the power that he said. He said Thurman's hits as hard as Margarito, similar kind of level. How's it going, Ray? You all right?
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, man. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. Just a bit shocked yesterday. Like, kind of the news broke the internet yesterday.
Yeah.
I was surprised. What do you make of it, Pacquiao Spence?
It's another big props to Al Heyman.
Yeah.
Big props to Al Heyman. When everyone's been talking about Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman pops up and shows everybody who the real boss is.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting fight, and again, I've got to give props to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
This is a hard fight to take. After 2 years away from the ring, doing what he's doing. He's a congressman over in the Philippines. He's obviously working very hard. But to come out and take on, in my opinion, the best welterweight on the planet, it's some feat. I don't think he pulls it off, sadly. But I think he goes out on his shield, if you're going to use that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Spence is too young, too fresh, too big, too powerful. And I just think he stops him late.
Yeah, I've got the same feeling. I'm a massive Pacquiao fan. Like, Pacquiao's like probably one of my favorite like ever. But I've never picked against Pacquiao in a fight. Even when he fought Thurman, I know a lot of people thought Thurman would beat him. I felt he beat Thurman. But in this fight, for the first time, I think I'll be picking against Pacquiao just because I think Spence is like that relentless pressure. And you know what? I saw Thurman in that fight, even though Pacquiao did really well.
Yeah.
I thought at the end of that fight, you could see his stamina was kind of. I didn't think he didn't look great towards the end, and he also said there was a few things he said in the post fight where he hit very hard. He was a big puncher. You never really see Pacquiao say things like that. That kind of tells me I think Spence is technically better than Thurman. I think he's more relentless. I think he's got a better chin. I think he's tougher. Yeah, it's a hard ass, but if he pulls this off, do you think this is the greatest win from a welterweight fighter ever?
I don't know, because you got to look at like Hunnigan and Don Curry and stuff like that.
42, beating a pound top, like Spence's top 5 pound for pound, undefeated, and the best welterweight out of the world, and Pacquiao's 42.
It would probably rank among his best achievements for sure.
Yeah.
Would it be the best welterweight win of all time? Probably not. But it would be a huge shock.
Yeah.
It would be a shock. It would be a shock. I mean, the thing is, Pacquiao's still a very, very good fighter. So it's not like a huge upset.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bigger upset. Put it this way, it wouldn't be a bigger upset as when Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao. That for me was a bigger upset. Because who was Jeff Horn and what's he done since? So for me, it would be surprised if Pacquiao pulled it off, but you couldn't rank it as among the very best because
Yeah,
Pacquiao is still formidable. He still
yeah,
beats most of the welterweights, really.
yeah. He does. Yeah.
So he proved 2 years ago against Thurman. He's still got a lot left.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. To be honest, I think like he's setting an example for the young fighters on how it should be. That at the age of 42, he's still willing to fight the best,
Yeah,
still go in there and challenge himself
because
against the best. You know, and like I said, it could be very like it could be. I have always said that I think Crawford might be a harder fight in terms of his style, but Spence might be a dangerous fight. I don't think Crawford would be as dangerous for Manny as this one. I just think this guy Spence is big, strong, and he's a huge welterweight. It's like the size difference in there is going to be massive. What do
it
you think?
is, and I know somebody in the chat was saying how big Spence is, and Spence is bigger than Canelo. I mean, he's not physically bigger than Canelo,
No,
but he
no,
is a very big welterweight. That bit's definitely true, and he's going to be a lot bigger than Pacquiao. But Pacquiao's fought bigger guys before,
yeah,
and
he has, yeah,
and dominated them. He's fought the likes of Margarito,
yeah,
Joshua Clottey,
mm,
um, Miguel Cotto. He's fought bigger guys, and he's handled those guys. But I
mm.
just don't think he handles Spence. I think Spence is probably at a level where he's probably going to be, he's going to have a lot of advantages, which are going to be all wrong for Pacquiao at this stage in
Yeah,
Pacquiao's career, if you like. But again, look, you've got to take your hats off. Whereas, my favorite fighter, well, one of my favorite fighters, Floyd Mayweather, is busy fighting people
yeah,
that should
yeah,
be in a circus.
yeah,
Floyd,
yeah. I think something's happened to Ray's volume there. Um, yeah, so yeah, I think he was saying that Floyd's fighting YouTubers right now, and Manny's fighting pound for pound top fighters in the world. So
Hello.
yeah, hello, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all right.
So, so Floyd Mayweather is obviously fighting fighting like YouTubers and Manny Pacquiao. He's up against live welterweights who are very very dangerous. So for me, you've got to respect him for that. You can't knock him. You can't knock him, even though I'm pitting against him. You can't knock him for what he's doing.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Like, I think Floyd. I think someone was saying to me earlier that you know what, thing is with Floyd, like, oh, you know what, he's retired now. Let him be. He beat Pacquiao and stuff. But the thing is, if you're fighting, right, you're in the media. So
Mm.
people, you're going to be open to criticism because you're fighting. If you're not fighting, then we say, yeah, he's retired. But if you're keeping yourself relevant by fighting, even though we know it's exhibitions, you're fighting. Uh,
He
and then
leaves
you're,
himself wide open. You're right. Floyd leaves himself wide open. And when I think of Floyd Mayweather, I want to think of his achievements before he fought Conor McGregor. I
yeah,
don't want to think of Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor and the Japanese guy that he fought and this clown that he's fighting on
yeah,
June the 6th. But that's why, when it's all said and done in 10 years' time, people will look back at the two and they'll remember Pacquiao more affectionately than Floyd Mayweather, which is sad, but that's just the way it is.
yeah, yeah. I think Pacquiao, if he beats Spence, I don't know where that places him in boxing history. I think some people already they rank him in terms of like a lot of people in the chat as well. They rank Pacquiao higher than Floyd Mayweather, even though Floyd beat Pacquiao because of the fact that Manny has moved up so many weight classes. How do you view it? How do you see it?
Uh, I could see the argument. I mean, Pacquiao's eight weight classes
Yeah,
in it,
yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed to the five for Floyd Mayweather.
yeah, yeah.
They've both got quality names on the resume. Um, I'll always go for ability as well, and
Mm.
Mayweather was above him in ability. There's
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
there's no doubt about that. But
Someone actually just to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off. Ray.
no,
Someone
sorry.
actually said that Mayweather's the better fighter, but Pacquiao's the greater fighter.
Yeah, I could see that one. Mayweather is the better fighter. He
Mm.
proved that in the fight, and he's proved that
Yeah,
in his career.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but Pacquiao took on greater challenges
Yeah.
against opponents that he wasn't always the favorite in some of his fights.
Yeah,
Pacquiao, and
yeah,
that's the difference. Where
yeah, it was.
You
Yeah.
know, Mayweather always was.
Mm.
So it's difficult to always call somebody great if they're always the A side in those
Mm.
fights, and
Mm.
that's why I was saying. I remember saying last time when I was on your show that if Canelo beat Petreviev,
Mm.
that's a greater achievement than anything Mayweather's done because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would be the underdog in that fight.
Yeah. Mm.
Where Mayweather's always been, he's always been a favourite in his fight. Mayweather's never been an underdog,
Yeah.
never.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got to look at those things as well when you're looking at. There's so many different contexts and factors you've got to think of when you're looking at an all-time pound for pound list. You
Yeah.
know the opponents that were available to them in the weight classes, their own skill set, what they won against who, how many defenses did they have, uh, all those type of things. So it's not just a case of I like this guy and he's won multiple belts. Yeah, but against who? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, those kind of things as well. So at the end of the day, we're lucky. We're lucky, all of you and I, and all of us people in the chat, to have seen two great fighters in our generation. You know, it's a bit like football where you've got Ronaldo and Messi. You just
Mm.
got to appreciate them.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about Spence. How do you see this fight going? What do you think? How do you think he's gonna approach this fight? What do you think he's gonna do?
I think Spence will be cagey. That Manny can start very very fast and throw a lot of shots, a lot of straight hard shots. Um, I think as well, Spence will probably just think, okay, I may have to give away the early rounds, but I'm going to put it on him in the mid rounds, target that body, make those investments, and then probably look to impose his physical size, stature, and strength on him. Um, those body shots on top of those body shots, which will accumulate a lot on Manny Pacquiao. Test those 42-year-old legs. You know, let's see if he can still bounce about in round 6, round 7 when it's getting tired, and then step it up a level again, maybe 8, 9, 10, and I think he'll probably put him away in probably around 9 or around 10. That's
Do you
how I
think
see it going.
Do you think Pacquiao could hurt Spence?
But
That's the big-
Pacquiao was, the last thing for a fighter, in my opinion, to go is a punch power,
Mm.
and I believe that Pacquiao still has, power in both hands really to do a number on any of the welterweights if he catches them clean.
Mm.
He could, if he catches him clean and early. I don't see him knocking Spence out. I think Spence will be really, really cagey early on. He knows that Pacquiao can be explosive early on, but he does. To answer your question, Pacquiao does have that power still.
Yeah, I think that might be key as well for Pacquiao to see if he can, because otherwise, if Spence is just walking him down, right, that might at his age, he may get tired towards the later on in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But if Pacquiao can hurt Spence and get Spence like thinking, well, I can't go close, I can't close this guy down because he could clip me with a shot. That might make it more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it might make Pacquiao more dangerous, but I honestly, like, it's one of them where you'd say Spence will win, but at the same time, you just something in your back of your head, like, just thinks that Pacquiao, he's proved people wrong so many times. Can he do it one last time? This seems like a step too far. People thought Thurman was a step too far, but I don't know. It's tricky to say. Like with Pacquiao, you just never know.
You can't. It's true. You can't always rule out Pacquiao.
Yeah,
But there does come a time where you think,
yeah,
how long can he keep doing it for? The long periods out the ring. Yeah, he keeps himself in shape. We know that. But the long periods out the ring, plus his age, plus this will be his 72nd pro fighting man.
yeah, yeah,
You know yourself, the accumulation of the training camps,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
toll on the body. It's because he's a very explosive fighter
yeah,
who
yeah.
relies on reflexes. It
Mm.
comes a point when you can no longer do that to the capabilities he was doing 10, 15 years ago. It comes a point. So if he does pull this off, it will be remarkable in that sense. But believe you and me, there comes a point where you become old overnight, and this might be just that fight.
Yeah, yeah. I hope, whatever the case, I hope it's a great fight.
Mm,
I hope Pacquiao don't get like, I wouldn't like to see him get like brutally knocked out. That would be horrible to watch.
yeah.
That'd be really horrible. But it could happen. It could happen, especially late on in this fight.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm just really intrigued because I do you think Pacquiao could outwork Spence? Like win the
Early on, probably
Yeah, yeah.
early on. Um, I think that's when he'll be at his freshest, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be when you'll want to probably overwhelm Spence. But I think Spence will be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Spence will be prepared for that, and you probably think I'll give those rounds away, but you'll come onto him, you'll catch up with him. You put it on there. I think what you'll do is you want to target, because Manny Pacquiao's got a pretty decent chin. You'll not
Yeah,
want to target him with headshots. You want to go to the body, slow him down, take away his legs, and then break him down from there.
yeah, yeah. If it goes to points, if it does go the distance, you reckon there's a chance that Manny Pacquiao could win a points decision because of those early rounds, winning those early rounds, or do you think Spence will catch up and make it?
No, because I think you probably win the first two or three, and then I think Spence will just take over. So I
Mm,
think if it did go to points, I think it'd be wide
mm,
in Spence's favour. Unanimous or maybe majority, because just because the way judges are these days,
yeah.
you can get people clearly winning fights, and they give it to the other fighter, or
I don't.
the score to draw. So
I don't think if Spence wins clearly that he won't get the decision, just because remember Pacquiao's on the way out and
yeah,
Spence is a new up and coming star. So I reckon even if the fight is close, there's a greater chance that Spence will get the decision anyway over Pacquiao, just because I think Spence is the star here. So in the sense that although Pacquiao is the legend and he's the A side and stuff, but I think the fact that Spence is in his prime and he's still got many years left, and Pacquiao's probably last fight, one or two fights, I think that might play a part if the fight's close as well.
yeah. Hopefully, the only thing I would say is that there's been enough evidence from fights recently to say that um, judges aren't judges aren't being consistent.
Yeah.
So I can you can never be sure with the judges. You can never be sure with the judges, because we've seen enough robberies recently, especially even on the matchroom shows.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I couldn't say for certain that it's all just because Spence is the A side in this fight, that he's going to be the favourite when if it did go to a close decision, because they could end up giving it to Pacquiao, because that might fuel a rematch, you see, and
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
argue that's where the money would go. So I don't know. It's interesting, but what I do know is that, in my opinion, I think Spence will take over in that fight, and I think that if it did go to points, that'd give him enough of an advantage.
Right.
It'll still be a great fight, though.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. I think it should be a great fight. I want to ask you what next for Crawford.
Well, I think he's going to be pretty angry at Bob Arum. He's
Yeah.
just not getting a fight.
No, he's not.
He's not getting a fight. He'll probably think he's not being taken it very seriously. I would like to see him up against somebody like Ugas or Boots Ennis.
Hmm.
That's the type of fight he needs to be in to almost counterbalance or counteract what Spencer's doing.
Hmm.
But then again, it's pointless if the Spence and the Crawford fight doesn't happen.
Yeah.
America needs that fight. If anything, America needs that fight
Yeah, they
to
do. Yeah.
reignite it's the fans' love for boxing.
Hmm.
Because if that fight doesn't happen, I worry about the state of American boxing.
Yeah, I agree.
Until they dominate the heavyweights again, I really worry about the state of American boxing if that fight doesn't happen.
Yeah, doesn't look like they're gonna do that. Wilder's fighting Fury again. Oh yeah, what did you make of that stuff? Wilder, Fury, Joshua. What have you made of that?
Um, I was I mean, the arbitration was never going to go away, was it? It was never going to go away. But I thought they would have struck a deal early on with Wilder, or early on with the WBC to allow the Joshua and Fury fight to take precedence
Mm.
because of it being such a high, a high, a high ranking unification fight, and it's unique in the sense that it allows the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis won it in '97. So I would have thought that would have taken precedence. So I was quite surprised in a way, even though I knew it may have come. I was quite surprised that all of a sudden Wilder got the go ahead in court.
Yeah, the
What
nod.
I
Yeah.
suppose, I suppose what annoyed me the most though was the fact that Bob Arum and Frank Warren, who had been noticeably quiet through the negotiations for the Fury Joshua fight, all of a sudden Bob Arum says, "Yeah, Wilder's not taking any step aside money, and I've reserved a date in July on the
Yeah, yeah,
24th for the fight to go." That just kind of tells me he knew all along that probably the Joshua fight wasn't going to happen, which is why he
yeah.
was so quiet.
Why do you think Fury didn't sign the contract? Fury didn't sign the contract from his end, right?
For
The Joshua fight. They were waiting.
probably
Remember? So was that? That's probably the reason. Because if he signed the contract, then he would have been in big legal implications with Joshua as well. Then, right?
yeah. I think where I was going with that one is I think his camp knew Warren, Arum, his dad. I think they all knew that they were going to have to fight Wilder.
Right.
And I genuinely thought they could negotiate a deal, step aside a deal, but I think they knew they just couldn't get around that.
Right.
So they kind of misled the fans in that respect.
Yeah, it's disappointing here in Britain, especially the fact that we were all looking forward to Joshua Fury.
Yeah, because it's a huge fight, man. It's a huge fight, bro. I mean, like I said, he hasn't been an undisputed heavyweight champ since '97. Well, since 2003 when he retired, Lewis. So that's a long time. 18 years. That's a long time. So I was, I knew we couldn't make the first fight in Saudi, but I thought, well, the rematch, all the boys can go down there. All the boys can go down to Wembley. This would have been a monumental occasion, but we've been denied it. It's another big fight boxing's been robbed of. So it's sad, really, but I do have a feeling that Fury will do a job on Wilder. He either beats him Wilder on points or he stops him. I haven't worked out which one yet, but he does beat Wilder. Like it doesn't matter who's now training Wilder; he ain't gonna make no difference.
What about Joshua Usyk? Could that be a problem?
Yeah, it could be. Now, I still think Joshua will win that fight, but I don't really like Joshua against fighters that are a little bit smaller than him, a little bit tricky. We've seen it against Ruiz. We've seen it against Takam. He doesn't like those type of fighters. They cause him all sorts of problems. And even though I do think he beats Usyk, I do think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to look good doing it. Put it that way.
Do you think there's a chance he could get beat in that one? Or would you be? Would you be? Obviously, you're picking Joshua, but would you be shocked if he gets turned over?
It depends how he gets beat. If he gets knocked out, yeah, I'd be shocked.
Right. Okay. You think Usyk can beat him on points?
Well, I would always pick Joshua, so I would say no.
Yeah.
But I would be shocked if Usyk knocked him out because I can't see that one. But I think he's got enough about him to cause him problems because he is tricky. He's a southpaw, and he's slightly shorter than AJ, and he's got decent feet. He's got pretty good. In fact, he's got terrific feet. Usyk, a cruiserweight. I just think at heavyweight's a different ball game. It's not like stepping up from bantamweight to super bantamweight. He's up against physically big and strong men. But on AJ's side, AJ is a lot physically. He'll realise that strength. And Usyk did lay back the win against Chisora. And he really did. He really did lay back the win against. He done all right against Chaz Witherspoon, and he got that impressive win against Bellew, but against AJ, I just think that AJ is just going to be at the end a bit too powerful for him. And I think if it wasn't for AJ's size and power, I would have said Usyk on points. But I think AJ's got enough about him to beat him. But it won't be playing. It won't be as comfortable as what Fury's win over Wilder would be.
Right. Just the last one before we call it a night. Taylor and Ramirez tonight, obviously for the undisputed 140-pound championship. I know you said that you pick Josh. You're picking Josh to win that one. How do you see that one going, and what have you made of Taylor's behavior recently, like over in America?
I think Taylor wins that one. I like Taylor. I think Ramirez is a good fighter. Ramirez is a very good fighter. You don't pick up 2 belts in the light welterweight division if you're not a great fighter. I just thinking that if you're going to break them down into the departments that you and I debate about for hours on end, and we know well, I just think that in those departments that people like me and you are looking for good fighters, Taylor's better in those departments, and I think you'll show that tonight. In terms of his behaviour, look, I think this is a big fight with a lot of huge context around it. It's a chance to be. I mean, if you look at it, do you know how many fights for the undisputed title there've been in modern day boxing? There's been about 5.
Yeah,
there's been about 5. So in the sport of boxing, that's a pathetic number. You talking about Crawford, Usyk, Jermaine Taylor, Bernard Hopkins, and then this fight. So you can understand why he's getting himself hyped up, because this fight is down for the history books. It's not just a normal world title fight. So that's probably why he's getting himself worked up. Ramirez is looking nice, cool, calm, collected, and Josh Taylor is probably a little bit hyped up. I don't know whether that's because of the things going on with Ben Davison as well. Ben Davison's been getting a lot of stick with the Billy Joe Saunders incident. Has that helped things? Has that made things worse? But it's going to be different when they step in the ring. We've seen people putting on Josh Taylor before. Ahara Davies tried to do it, didn't succeed. Regis Prograis. In fact, Josh Taylor was more hyped up for the Regis Prograis fight than he was for this fight, and he still pulled it out the bag. So I see where you're going with that one, bro, but I still think Josh Taylor's got enough about him. He's a hard man for someone so slight. So I think he's got enough about him to beat Ramirez.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a good one. It's going to
be a cracking fight. It's going to be a cracking fight.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks, Ray. I appreciate you coming on.
No, man, anytime, bro.
I'm deciding whether to come live for the Ramirez fight. I'm probably gonna let's see. I'll see. It's a bit late. It's a bit late in the morning.
It is a late one, man. It is a late one. You put in the hours.
Yeah, early hours, but I think it's a good one. I think it's going to be a good fight for sure. So let's see. But yeah, thanks, Ray, for coming on. I appreciate your time.
No problem. Take care, guys.
I'll see you soon. Just let everyone know about your channel.
Yeah, guys. I'm on Last Bell Boxing. There's me, there's Carl, there's Andy, and there's Dave. So you can follow us all on Last Bell Boxing Chat on YouTube. We're on every Thursday night, 9 o'clock. We've had Imran on. And what we do is we just chat about the fights that have been on the following week, the fights that are coming up. We've had guests on as well. We've had Natasha Jonas on. We've had Billy Nelson. We've had Carl Greaves. And we've got some big names to come on in the future. So, guys, if don't forget to give us a little look up on YouTube, and if you're free on the Thursday night, watch us, and you can come on camera and have a little bit of a chat with us and debate with us about some up and coming fights.
Cheers, Ray. I appreciate it.
All right, then, bro. Catch you guys later, yeah?
Take care, Ray. Take care. See ya. So, guys, there you have it. Ray. He's been on the channel a few times. You and Ray, give us the link, Imran. JM84, do you want to come on? It's got to be a quick one because I have to shoot, but I'll have you on for a bit. I'm gonna do one later as well for Ramirez and there's the link. I've screenshot the link again. So Javier Reyes says, how many rounds do you think you can last? I can last with Canelo, not one. You know, I can't last with Canelo. I can't last with Canelo, man. Come on. I've sent the link. It's in the chat. I can't last with Canelo at all. Canelo will wipe me out. But yeah. Hi, Imran. Sorry I joined late. It's all right, Fight Gamer. I'm about to leave. I might do one for Ramirez Taylor. Might do one for Ramirez Taylor. That's a great fight, up and coming fight, which I'm going to be looking forward to doing. But yeah, hopefully what I'm going to start doing now, I'm going to start posting the link in the YouTube chat, and anyone that wants to come on can come on and have chat face to face. So JM84, if you're going to come on, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a night and then come on later. Go live, brother. Yeah, I will. Hopefully, I will. I will go live. Hopefully, I will go live for that fight. I'm thinking of going to the gym, keeping myself active now, and then go live for that particular fight. How's it going, Jay? You all right? Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah. I'll just block the. I'm not bad. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm good. How's it?
Good, man. It's good to see it. Yeah. Just got the my son to sleep. So yeah, no, it's good to see a boxing fan, a younger boxing fan keeping it going years later. It's great stuff. Yeah, man, definitely. I was just trying.
What do you make of the news? Pacquiao Spence. What do you make of it?
Bad news for Manny. I just don't see how he can, how at this late stage in his career he can beat somebody as vibrant, as fluid, as sharp. As you say, he may not be quick, but he's got that sort of Mayweather of
not as good
to him. Do you know what I mean? It's not, it's a spring to him. You know what I mean? A sprightly step. You know, some ways. But I think Manny. You know, I said that against Marquez, he looked sort of like he's lost his punch resistance, and I think I just don't see. He keeps proving people wrong, so perhaps he does have what it takes to do something special. But he has had quite a long time off since I think it was the Thurman fight. Yeah, he's had quite a long time off, and that's good for his body at his age. So perhaps he can do something special. I'd like to see it, but at the same time, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see him lose, but put up a great performance. So that it allows Spence to develop into a terrific fighter. Because that's good for the sport ultimately, and that's what's needed. So I mean, I can only when it comes to, I mean, if we were having this conversation 10 years ago, I'd be able to give you a much more in depth on what was going on back then. But I mean, in terms of now, I mean, the current crop of fighters I think are great. I really like who do I like now? I like Canelo, obviously. I know you do. I like a lot of the heavyweights. Obviously the big three. I think Ruiz has been sold short a little bit, perhaps undervalued in a lot of ways. and I think he's still got something to offer the sport. Whether it's when he's really rotund and overweight, whether that suits him better than the trimmed down Ruiz, I don't know. But I think there's something to be offered by him. I mean, I really liked the Saunders-Canelo fight. That was brilliant. That was excellent for the sport. What a great way to showcase the sport back after everything that we've all gone through.
What did you make of the fight?
I thought it was awesome. I thought that fight was just great. I mean, just a great spectacle. A great entrance by Billy Joe with the song and everything. It's just a brilliant entrance into the ring. Proud traveling man coming into the ring, from a small marginalized community, taking on, a Mexican superhero sort of thing. And he had Tyson Fury there with him, who's like the heavyweight champion, from the same sort of background. And I thought it was a terrific fight. I think Saunders was never gonna win. He was never going to win that fight, even though I may have waxed lyrical about him having a chance. I don't think he actually. I was deluding myself, really. I don't think he ever had a chance. I think the best chance would be
Beterbiev.
Yeah, Beterbiev or a Bivol, as you say, or those sort of fighters. I mean, big guys. And Canelo, It's difficult because when you go back and you watch the Trout fight, you watch the Lara fight, and you watch the even the Jacobs fight. I think that was a very, very close competitive fight, and I mean that was really to the wire. And Jacobs didn't look troubled at all in that fight. He looked totally comfortable the whole time. Canelo is not. Invincible. No, he's not. He's not unbeatable. I really don't believe so. But I do think he is great for the sport. I think he's great for the sport. And it's a sport. I still, I went off it for a couple of years, but I got back into it again. And it's a great sport to meditate on and to just engross yourself, big fight nights and all that sort of stuff, great times. So I thought the Usyk Joshua fight. I think Joshua's just too big when he unloads with those shots. It is terrifying, especially he really brings his shots close in. He's really good on the inside for such a big guy. He just terrifies me, Joshua, when he starts unloading. I think he. Whether he can take a shot, I don't know. I mean, in that division, it's a cliche, but they can all be knocked over, can't they? But I think he is too much for Usyk. Even though Usyk is as you say, he's a big guy, 6'3", 6'4", and he moves well, but he just doesn't. He doesn't have. It's cruiserweight. He doesn't have the pop, and he's a cruiserweight, isn't he? Or is he a jump balloon?
Undisputed cruiserweight champion,
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with the cruiserweight. I mean, look at Holyfield. What a cruiserweight he was. So, but I don't. I just when they tend to come up against a big heavyweight who can punch really hard, they tend to not be able to deal with it. I mean, but again, Holyfield was another example, but he really did mature into being a full-fledged heavyweight, and it's debatable whether he
presence was different, though, wasn't it, Jay? Holyfield has a presence about him. Even at heavyweight, he had like a physical strength and physical presence where he was able to push heavyweights back. Like against Mike Tyson, at times he was able to push Mike Tyson back. I don't really think Usyk has that kind of presence at heavyweight where he'd be able to push these guys back. He has a different style.
Yeah, I'd agree there totally. I mean, he reminds me of sort of a when you think of a sort of a Herbie Hyde. Let's go way back, but he's not able to impose himself, as you say, rightly. He's not able to impose himself on the bigger guys, and I just worry about that for him. But he has everything, and I understand why he's jumping up a division because he wants to stay in the cruiserweights. No one. So I totally get it. So in a way, I do sort of wish him luck and hope that he can do well. Because I always we all like the underdog, but I just think Joshua's just terrifying when he lets loose. He is
Yeah,
just scary. I think he just scary. But yeah, no, I just kind of want to give my 2 cents there, Imran. I haven't got much else to really go in. It's not a good channel. Keep up the good work.
Cheers, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, man.
Before you go, if you give a couple of predictions on fights. So if Joshua fought Usyk, how do you think that fight goes, and what do you think happens?
I think Joshua spends a few rounds. No, I backtrack on that. I think Joshua just goes in there to blast him out. To be fair, and I think he just tries to cut off the ring and just impose himself on Usyk, and that will be too much for Usyk. If he does that, if that's what the strategy is, it's too much for him to handle. It's just it's too big a guy. Whether AJ can cut off the ring that well, whether he's that sort of fighter, I don't know. He doesn't seem like a sort of pressure fighter. He's more tactical and likes to stand in the centre ring and figure things out. But I think when he does go forward and he has the pressure on the fighter, he's terrifying. So I think he just gets rid of Usyk quite easily. Even though I know Usyk is maybe the better, more fluid, better boxer, more able, that sort of, more well-rounded in certain ways with the fundamentals technically. But I just think he's just too big. Yeah. I'd say Joshua mid-rounds, 6th, 7th round, something like that.
Wilder Fury trilogy?
I actually think Wilder wins that fight. And I think if they're both in the right mindset and they both come into the fight with a good game plan, Fury wins almost every time. But I just think Fury's, he might even say to himself, I'm not going to take my eye off the ball here because, that's what I'm expected to do. That's how I feel. So I'll do the opposite sort of thing. But I just think that after, he may think in his mind that he's already won the first 2 fights. He'll go in the 3rd fight sort of slightly frustrated that he has to be there, annoyed that he has to be there, annoyed that he has to go through the whole camp, everything. And he'll just somehow, and Wilder's going to be in a state of, Mr. T out of Rocky. He's going to be in that sort of mode. Do you know what I mean? And I just think he might shock Fury, and then we'll end up with a 4th and then a 5th. He'll just go. I think Wilder. I know it's crazy to predict. I'll say Wilder early rounds. Actually, I've got a funny feeling he might do it. I don't want him to. I prefer Fury to win and fight Joshua, but I think Wilder may win. Actually,
so the last one I wanted to ask you, obviously Pacquiao Spence. Your prediction? How do you see that one going?
I think Spence is going to win quite convincingly. Got nothing but adoration really for Pacquiao in his career. I mean, you look at the Morales fight, the Barrera trilogy. The first Morales fight was what a great fight by El Toribio. I mean, that was an absolute beautiful fight. But I just think he's taken on someone too fresh, too skilled, too hungry, really. Just somebody too gifted to be beaten by somebody that's he's too old now, and Manny will be a front runner in this fight. Which he never was. He'll be like a Azab Judah or a Billy Joe. 6 rounds, it'd be brilliant, but then he'll gas out. And the last 6 rounds, I think he'll be pot shotted by Spence, and Spence will just get him out of there. I think he'll get him out of there in the late rounds. I think he'll stop him TKO. Yeah, fair enough. Remind me of those predictions when they've all paved out, if you can, because I'll forget them. But no, I won't.
I'll remember. I remember. It was great having you on. I'd love to have you on again.
No, that's fine.
Let me know.
Yeah, man, no worries. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was,
Yeah.
it's nice coming on, and I'll be interested to see when I review the comments how people thought things were.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, cool.
Anyway, Jay, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, bro. No worries.
Take care.
Have a good
Take
day.
care, Jay.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. All right, guys. So there we have it. We had another subscriber. So, guys, what I'm going to start doing is putting the link in the description. And if you guys want to come on and give your take, I'd love for you guys to come on. And guys, hopefully I'll be coming on live for the Taylor Ramirez fight later on. If I obviously stay up, hopefully I'm going to try going to the gym, get a few green teas down me, and then hopefully we'll come on. But yeah, guys, take care, and I'll see you later on, hopefully. Take care, guys. Peace out.